What's good, and welcome back to a market review. I'm developing students, and these are my interpretations on price. Shout out ICT. Let's get straight into it, and here's the market review. So basically, I always like to start with the daily chart, and I don't know why on the top left it doesn't show you what type of chart it is, but here is this is NQ. Sorry, this is NQ. What is order flow right now? Order flow is bullish. As you can see here, we had a doji candle here or indecisive candle, and what is this set up? It sets up either like a retracement and then expansion, or just an expansion. And that's kind of what we had here today. Yesterday, Friday, we had a bullish day right here, and then we had expansion. So bias was bullish for sure. And here's the 1 hour charts respectively. I'll see here overnight session. What do we have? Accumulation to then have manipulation at market open to then have distribution. Pretty nice, pretty clear power 3 today. I thought so. What's good, y'all? So then here's ES chart. Same thing. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. And then we're going to throw in YM here because YM really set the tone to why this happened and why we had it. Because I didn't think it was as clear on NQ until I looked at YM. But pretty much we have the same thing. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. And I'm going to give you time to like have annotation on your chart if you want to write them down. So here is the YM annotations I have for the 1 hour chart. As we see, we have shifted order flow. We have hit a sell side liquidity pool. We have taken liquidity out of the market. Again, where's the low resistance liquidity? Where's the high resistance liquidity? As we see here, low resistance, low resistance, low resistance, low resistance, low resistance liquidity. At the lows, what do we have? High resistance, high resistance, high resistance. So what are the probabilities that we do? What's more probable that we do? Higher or lower? In terms of high resistance, low resistance, it's more probable that we get this one to the upside. That's what ends up happening. Order flow is bullish. We come back down into this fair value gap. We take liquidity. We take these stops, and boom, we have displacement. And that manipulation happens right at or around market open. So let's zoom in just a little bit more. This is a 15-minute chart right here. Come back down. We take liquidity, and then something happens. We change our state of delivery right here. We have an order block right here that we trade into after we get this change of state of delivery right here. This is our order block. And then once this propulsion block is confirmed, we have an immediate rebalance pretty much. And then we get huge displacement higher. And then right here, this was a classic trend day, I guess you could say. Why was it a trend day? We primed ourselves up for expansion on YM. Look at all this consolidation, all this accumulation within here, to then have manipulation at these lows, to then have distribution, and then this is just a fractal within that. So right now we have manipulated into a fair value gap, and then we had big expansion. And here's our 15-minute chart, and then those 15-minute charts. And this is just to highlight the high resistance versus low resistance. High resistance, high resistance, high resistance, high resistance. And then at market open, we have low resistance, low resistance, low resistance. All right, and then also what do we have at the lows? Hint, hint. We have an S&T at the lows here that forms on NASDAQ at around market open. Once we have that change of state delivery, we're pretty much off the races. I don't really like trading. I don't trade on YM, but I just use YM to really gauge my bias and to gauge what I could be seeing. So I think that YM was very important to keep track of today and to kind of see why it really happened. Because right here, if we look at NASDAQ, it's not like we're rebalancing to like a nice PD array. I actually didn't notice this before, but if you draw out this 15-minute fair value gap, it looks like we manipulated right into that fair value gap. And overall, what is order flow? Order flow is king. Order flow is bullish. We're getting down close candles, down close candles, down close candles, down close candles. I mean, even here, I don't really look at this because this is just Asia. This is London. We're looking for that New York order flow. All right, and here's the 5-minute chart on ES, on NQ. Right here at market open, we're currently in a market maker sell model right here. So what are we going to do at market open? We're going to come up, we're going to manipulate into a fair value gap, Judah swing, to then displace and then to take liquidity and also to form an SMT at these lows with YM. So that's what ends up happening. We end up having a fair value gap we manipulated into, that Judah swing right here after buy side liquidity is taken. Where's high resistance again? Where's low resistance? High resistance, high resistance. All of these low resistance liquidity right here within here. So we end up having that. into that fair value gap, and then boom, sell off right to sell side liquidity. All right, and then here's a, I believe this is a 5 minute. Yeah, this is a 5 minute chart. Here, after we take liquidity, what are we looking for? Change of state delivery. Change of state delivery happens right here off that order block. What do we come up to? Market structure shift, pull back, fair value gap into that order block again, and then boom, right here, another expansion straight to buy side. And after that, it was just expansion throughout the rest of the day. Honestly, like, I only care to really look at this fractal price. I don't really care about the 10 a.m. window. The fact that we just kept on displacing and we're in all-time highs, I don't really care about. I'm not really care about that. I'm not here to try to get that. All right, and here's the 1 minute chart I have annotated right here. We hit that sell side liquidity pool, and here on the 1 minute, we have a 1 minute change of state delivery. That 1 minute order block here, what does this now become? Propulsion block. If you map that propulsion block out in time, come back down, hit that. And right here, this is the 950 macro that I really look at. Right here, we have sell side delivered here, and then we have buy side delivered here, overlapping with this. What is this now? A balanced price range. So price doesn't need to trade here, which originally while I was tape rating this, I thought that we were for sure going to come back down to here. And I was looking to maybe look at this order block right here. Sorry, this propulsion block. But we don't need to because this is a balanced price range. Price doesn't need to trade back into this propulsion. We end up having a balanced price rate. And if we look at this level right here, that's that 5 minute change of state delivery right there. And what else is this? A fair value gap right there. Boom, straight to buy side. This entry from here to here, if you're looking at this, like, this is all you need. This is bread and butter. This will repeat. All this, the fact that we like went into all-time highs deeper today, is kind of just extra bonus. That's not going to repeat every single day. There's not going to be a trend day for every single day, which is why I don't really like to engage in trend days. And that's why after I saw like no retracement at lunch hour, I just pretty much stopped looking at the charts because I knew that I'm not really going to find too much opportunity with it here. So I'm just going to sit on my hands and I'm just going to let the market do what it wants to do. Right here, that 950 macro delivers straight to buy side. After 10-10, macro finishes up. Buy side liquidity is taken. But what is this really? This is just a market structure shift on the 5 minute and 15 minute time frame. Then we have right here, if you were to look to trade this fractal price right here, we have order block right here, change of state delivery right there, boom, we come back down, reprice to this fair value gap and this propulsion block. So right here, you could have looked to take a short here. Right here, we have the order block, change of state delivery, like I was saying. Right here, you have your propulsion block confirmed, boom, that gets traded into perfectly right there. If you look at this in lower time frames, this looks like a nice market maker sell model. Which is low-key what I'm gonna do after this. I'm gonna break this down into a market maker sell model. But right here, boom, propulsion block right there. Right here, propulsion block is traded to, along with this balanced price range. So this balanced price range, if you extend this out, we're now trading back within this balanced price range. So if price is bullish here, we should have a quick expansion to the upside, and we shouldn't hold this area very long. That's what ends up happening. We end up having expansion right here, and then we come back down, retracement into equilibrium of this price leg, into this inversion fair value gap right here, and then we see higher prices. And then this is a 2 minute chart right here. Pull out this inverse fair value gap right here, boom, right there. That's what we come back into. This is just a market structure shift. And then this now becomes another balanced price range on the 2 minute. We don't expect price to stay around in this area very long. This also is an order block right there. And then boom, what do we end up having? Nice displacement higher up to that draw on liquidity right there. This was a nice fractal in price. Today, what do we have? If we break this down in simplest terms, 930, Judah swing. Fake move, opposing the opposite direction. Come up, manipulate, take sell stops into that fair value gap, and then boom, we sell off to sell side liquidity. Then what do we end up doing? We end up having a market reversal at around 950. At 950, around 950. That starts this spooling higher. Then we get retracements, and then we come back up, take buy side liquidity. That's what ends up happening. Here is another 1 minute chart here, and pretty much just highlighting this market maker sell model with swing grades and standard deviation. Right here, if we're going to swing grade this from smart money reversal right here to terminus, which is that draw liquidity up here, what do we get? Right here, we trade up into equilibrium. What are we anticipating? What are we expecting? Like worst case scenario, what are we expecting? We're expecting to see a stop rate. A stop rate. What ends up happening? They come back down right here, stop rate right here, into this fair value gap. And what else do we get? 25%. Well, I know it says 75, but 25%. What do we get? Low risk entry. Boom. Low risk buy right here. First stage, second stage of distribution. And notice where this reaccumulation area lines up with right here. Boom, right there. And notice as well, what is negative 2, 2.5? Possible reversal area. And the reason why I'm doing it here to here is because this is that first retracement leg. A lot of the times when we have like a quick, fast move and like it wouldn't really make sense to do standard deviation from this high to this low. Like this would probably give you projection of like 1.5 would probably be here. But I'm going to map out this first retracement leg that we get, and that's going to be a more accurate projection. As we see, reaccumulation lines up perfectly. Negative 2.5 lines up perfectly. We end up getting stop rate. And negative 4, terminus, lines up perfectly with this buy-side liquidity pool. Overall, this is a great fractal in price right here. Like, let's just break this down even more. Like, change of state delivery, like we've been saying, on the 1 minute, boom, propulsion, inverse, gets carried out. Okay, say you entered here. Say you entered here, and then you put your stop loss maybe below this balanced price range. Or maybe at the balanced price range. Or maybe at this propulsion block. And you might have got stopped. Okay, that's cool. Like, there's always going to be another day in the market. There's always going to be another day in the market. We come back down, boom, inverse, right there, boom, buy side. Very nice model. And here is the Dow. Here's Dow. And I don't expect to see this happen in the market too much. I don't really expect to see this happen in the market so much. So when this happens, like these are days when I just like sit back and say, okay, this happened, and I can just study this. But this is nothing for me to like really look to like try to trade this, because I know that over time I'll probably likely get burnt out, or I'll probably lose more than I win trying to look for trend days, especially on a Monday. So what ends up happening, YM, market structure shift, and we pull back to where? A breaker. Right here, breaker. And then this is going to be a market maker model on the 1 minute time frame, which I'm going to show right here. We end up coming back, sell side. Where do we reprice right to? Keep in mind, this shaded area right here is a 15-minute balanced price range, or 15-minute breaker. So we should find some real support here. We come back where? Right to this 1 minute fair value gap. Notice. Where do we reprice right to? We're offering real fair value into the market right here, into this fair value gap. Boom. Then what does price do? It changes the state of delivery on the 1 minute right here. Order block. Boom. Then come back down where? Down close candles, supported price. I know this isn't like the most beautiful fractal price because YM, and I'm not really looking to trade it, but it's still there. It's still there. Same thing. What do we have here? Stop on. Right there. Boom. Stop on. And then we end up displacing higher. And where does Dow, this is Dow on the hourly. Where do we end up finding that high of the day? Where do we end up like stopping at? Is this 1 hour order block. This was CPI, I believe. I believe this was CPI. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we end up stopping right there. And this is where we are at currently. So we're currently at here. We came into this order block right here. And right here, this was just a nice day. Beautiful sell day. This is what you want to see. Accumulation overnight. Manipulation into a higher time of PDA at around market open. And then displacement. That is currently, that is what I look for in the market. That is what I look for. I know that repeats, and that's easy to see in my eyes. So therefore, why would I try to trade anything else than that? All right, and here are just some other standard deviation projections. I know it's kind of a little bit crowded here, but what do we have here? This projection from this last manipulation leg, map that out. -4. What do we end up hitting? That right there. And this right here is this whole fulcrum swing point right here from this low to this high. If you map this out, -2.5, that's what we end up hitting. And that's what we end up kind of rejecting right here. So we look at NASDAQ, we come into these projections right there. And I also want to pay attention to the dollar here. Actually, let's come back to that dollar. Let's come back to dollar because I want to go over this real quick. This is just end of day macro. And honestly, no, I don't love it, and I wouldn't really I'm not really looking to trade this. I don't like trading end of day, but basically, displacement lower, accumulation, just chopping up traders. There's a possible silver bullet, but we're not really looking for that. And then we come back up into this fair value gap, boom, in this macro, and then we start here, fair value gap, boom, right to all these stacked equal lows. This right here is just extra credit. Not really looking for that. But nice model. Where's low resistance liquidity? Right here. Very clean. Very clean. Alright, I believe let's go back to dollar now. So if you look at dollar, I don't know if I'm convinced. We've obviously, like, what is it? Order flow currently right now, it's bullish. So right here, we have this area right here. We have this breaker. I'm very interested in this breaker. I want to see what we do at this breaker. Right here. This breaker. Map that out. I want to see if we possibly want to find support at that. But we come back up into this daily order block, and we're showing signs that we could want to head lower to these stack lows here. But notice that we still can possibly leave these within the market. But I kind of want to see them get traded too. Overall, we still do have this propulsion block right here to where I want to see if this gets disrespected. If this propulsion block right here gets disrespected, this big down close candle, if that gets disrespected, we're heading to these lows. But I want to see what we're gonna happen. What's gonna end up happening? If we look at the hourly, this actually does look like this could be the starting of a market maker sell model. We have what? Change of state delivery right here. We have an order block range right here. Fair value gap right here. That was getting respected right now. And then if you map out standard deviation, it lines up here. We have kind of low resistance liquidity here. But I just don't really believe it too much. But it's just a kind of a thought and a kind of a thesis just to put out there, you know? Just to put out there. But it's definitely something that you have to get disproven from first to be able to actually trade it. So, yeah. So, pretty much, yeah, I'm looking at dollar right now and I want to see, hey, I don't really like these lows. We never rebalanced that weekly fair value gap, but we do have all of these equal highs up here, which I could totally see us mapping up to these highs. Dollar has been a little bit tricky for me for quite some time. I'm not going to lie. Ever since this, I haven't been able to get a good read on dollar. But here, even these lows here, we have taken liquidity here, so I would negate that idea just a little bit. I kind of want to see. Let's just see what happens, but market maker sell model could potentially be within the air, but I'm not going to be too overly biased with it. All right, and then other than that, I kind of want to pull up my chart here. Those are kind of just the main points I want to talk about, and then I kind of want to pull up a chart here, and I kind of just want to go over through this with a real chart on like some other things. So if we see throughout here, like, this is just clear expansion. Like, I am not going to try to get ahead of this. I'm not trying to get in front of this. I don't really care to get this too much. Like, these moves, they are just for runners pretty much. I don't care to really be engaged with that. But I want to look at Euro USD, and I also want to look at GU as well. So I want to look at EU and GU. So I haven't looked at any of these pairs prior to this, so. Okay, right here, we have this fair value gap that we're reclaiming right here. So, this pair looks pretty bearish. This looks pretty bearish. We're now within here. We have all these swing lows below us. I am expecting this to possibly be a market maker sell model right here. I don't really see us price reversing here. So, that could lead to some bearish action on the indices. If you look at last manipulation move, where can we possibly line that up with? Negative 1.5 looks nice. Let's look at the first retracement within here. Negative 1 kind of lines up. I don't really like that projection too much though. But yeah, I also want to do it with the bodies. Negative 2 kind of lines up nicely. So look at this. I do like this inverse fair value gap right here. I do like that. We also are trading up into this order block right here. I want to see, are we going to respect that or not? We also have this previous area of accumulation. So we should hold this area if we are bearish. If we are bearish, we should hold this area because we also have this accumulation area, order block that'll get used on the right side of the curve. Let's look at the 4-hour, see if we get some more insights right here. So we have a big displacement up, big displacement out, lower. This now becomes a balanced price range. So if we are truly bearish, we should come within this high confluence area right here, and we should reject lower. So I'm looking for this area on EU, but keep in mind I don't ever truly trade forex. It's kind of just to gauge what I'm looking at right here. Low resistance liquidity. All right, let's check out GU now. So GU, I have been pretty bullish on recently. Right now we're in this reaccumulation area. So GU is a little bit different. We have taken buy side liquidity here. We have taken this rejection block right here perfectly. So we have a rejection block within the market. And actually, let me see. Oh, we also respect this rejection block too. This rejection block before the liquidity sweep. That's what you want to see. Like that. That got respected perfectly. So this kind of leads. I kind of think that this is the next draw on liquidity for a GU. This fair value gap right here. I do think that we could come back to within this daily fair value gap. We do have this breaker right here that we kind of did respect, so we're kind of bouncing off 2 PD rays. So I'm a little bit. I need to see more information. I want to see a little bit more information in order for me to really say something within this. But if we're looking at this, it's kind of 50-50, I would say. So therefore, I'm not really gonna look to engage within this. Overall, we do have some merit. Look at as well that -2 standard deviation as well. I do want to look at where the bodies were at within this projection. What did this look like? Almost -4. That was like no way. All right, but basically, I don't know about GU. So I also do want to look at Bitcoin. We're back within this area right here. We could want to go here to this fair value gap right here. I've been thinking that this is likely to draw liquidity here. And we're in a sense just building up failure swings within the market. So at some point in time, this will get traded too. But the matter is when. I don't know. I just want to look at this, and I just want to study this kind of after the fact in hindsight to kind of see what ended up happening. We failed to really meaningfully displace. And right here, we're now within this fractal price to where we had changes in delivery, but we haven't taken sell side. So I would wait on this pair here. I would wait on Bitcoin. Not this pair, but Bitcoin. I don't really ever trade Bitcoin either, so I don't really ever look at Bitcoin. Other than that, here's some bonds. Yeah, I don't really have anything else. That's all I really want to cover. And yeah, that's all I really have. But bias going into tomorrow. We'll go over that. We'll cover that. We are at all-time highs, so I'm going to be, again, like hands off. I'm not even trading tomorrow at all. I wasn't trading today either. This is all just analysis from the past. But I was just tape reading it and just looking at see what price does. So for tomorrow, I'm going to be a little bit cautious, as per usual, winning all-time highs. YM, we have YM and dollar to gauge off of. So whenever we're in all-time highs, I will just revert to an indice or dollar for more of my analysis. So right here, we have just traded into this order block right here on YM. So you want to see if we're bullish. I don't think that we really need to retrace because we've offered sell side within here. We could possibly though retrace into this fair value gap. So I do want to see this fair value gap possibly get traded into. If this fair value gap fails, we're likely to see lower prices. But if you look at YM, this does look pretty bullish. But the fact that we're in all-time highs, I don't really know what could happen. Dollar could be a little bit bullish here. We could possibly want to continue to sell off or take this fair value gap. We'll see what ends up happening. But anyways, that's all I have for today. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. And I'll be live sometime soon. I don't know exactly when, but today I wasn't really on live. But basically, I'll see you